Tomorrow's only show. The news.
Here is an illustrated summary of the news, happenings at home and abroad.
You wouldn't know a news story if it reached up and kicked you in the pants.
You think anybody could make up a story like that?
Come here, I got news for you.
Oh, I'm gonna be on the news?
Well, go ahead, read it.
Does this story have a point?
Cannot believe you're looking for tips in the supermarket tabloids.
I'm going to strip away this mystery and expose its private parts.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Brock Lawley program. My name is Brock Lawley. I am your fearless host. This is the segment we tackle the news headlines, sifting out the leftist alphabet soup Democrat Party. Barack Obama lies like the chaff that it most certainly is. From the golden wheat of truth, I serve that truth up to your truth. I serve that truth. The last profanity. I serve that truth up to your ADD reality television show. Mine's on a silver platter of rhetorical deliciousness. That is a show. In a nutshell, let's hit the ground running. Obama dukes it out, ladies and gentlemen, with his favorite opponent, Mr. Strawman. He shadow boxing when I heard you on the radio. Nobody's there. No facts. No enemy. Nothing. Barack Obama. You know, he's Mr. Cool. He's up there. Go to the body. Boom, boom, boom. Go to the jawline. Boom, boom, boom. Barack Obama loves the straw man. He loves it. He loves everything about it. He gets his little lackeys to set it up like the Wizard of Oz straw man, and he burns it to the ground. He has a great time doing it. You'll notice Barack Obama never takes actual questions or actual opponents or actual substance. Barack Obama's like, Fox News and talk radio, they're out there lying about me. That's right. Lying about how awesome I am. I know I'm awesome. My whole staff tells me I'm awesome. That's right. Except for that Brock Lawley. Except for him. He sucks.
I want that Brock Lawley guy stopped immediately.
Bet you do. I bet you do, B.O. Anyway, Barack Obama taking down straw man after straw man. He is just chomping at the bit to get back into the campaign. Look, it's what the guy loved. I actually think it's what he loves the most. I mean, I'm not the first to say that. It's not an original thought. I think it's true. I think he just absolutely loves the stump speech. I think he wanted to be in a boy band, so on and so forth. But my favorite line is if Trump, my dear dictator, if Trump is a demigod, does that make you like some sort of Avengers demigod? Like a superhero with like your emerald ring of demagoguery? Oh, the chutzpah of this guy. So far he's claimed that Trump isn't properly vetted. This guy, who has half his record still sealed on the home stretch of his own second term. Yeah, Trump isn't vetting, and that his foreign policy could lead to destruction. I mean, Barack Obama stands on the pile of foreign policy ash around the world. Barack Obama stands on a pile of dead bodies globally as a result of his abysmal foreign policy and is criticizing someone else's foreign policy. It's absolutely amazing. Look, the buck naked emperor, as I've so affectionately called him, has no idea that he has no clothes on. It never has. And sadly will leave the White House not knowing that he's stark naked. Breitbart.com has a great piece on this. Hillary Clinton, ladies and gentlemen, her IT guy, you know that guy, he's pleading the fifth. I plead the fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth. Plead the fifth. Gee, why would he do that exactly? Why would he plead the fifth? Yeah, I don't think I need to elaborate that on that. TheHill.com has the piece, lays it all out. Chicago's murder rate rising like the temperature of a flu patient. Up. It may be the bloodiest May in 21 years. 40-some people lay bloody in the streets in Chicago. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what happens when leftists run your city for 100 years. Rahm Emanuel runs your city specifically right now. By the way, Barack Obama, he's gonna solve the problem. You know how he's gonna solve the problem? That guy in like Timbuktu, Kansas, Barack Obama's gonna get his gun. Oh yeah, We're legislating, baby. We're legislating like us leftists love to do. Yeah, Billy Bob. Billy Bob, who's shooting groundhogs from his porch in Timbuktu, Texas. Barack Obama's coming after the gun. Now, the thug who's buying a gun out of a trunk of a Pinto on Martin Luther King Avenue in the ghetto, that guy not only doesn't care about Barack Obama's Second Amendment whiteout fantasies, but's never even heard of him, will never hear of them. And even if a snowball's chance in hell somebody whispered something about it into his ear, he would give two craps about it. Because he's looking to put hot lead in some gangster. And the guy robbing your liquor store right now in your neighborhood, that guy doesn't care about Barack Obama's wet dreams on the Second Amendment. But it doesn't matter. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about the great and powerful Oz behind the curtain, because here's the thing. It sounds great on an NPR soundbite. Something about guns and, man, if we just pass some legislation, we're going to stop all this crime. How about this for just an off the top of Barack's head suggestion? How about we focus on the African-American family? By the way, 95% of the people laying dead in the streets of Chicago are black. That part is omitted from the story. It's not omitted from this podcast, but it's omitted from the story. Let's focus on education. Let's focus on job opportunities. Let's focus on drugs. Let's focus on the family. No, because that would be talking about substantive issues. So let's just talk about banning inanimate objects, regardless of the fact that it's in black letter in our Constitution that you can't do it. Chicago Tribune has the piece. It's a sad one. Sadly, it'll happen next week and next week and next week. And the people of Chicago will continue to vote empty suit corrupted goons like Rahm Emanuel to lead them off a cliff. Americans having more same-sex experiences. That's the way this article is framed in Philly.com. But what's interesting is I read this piece, and what I found interesting, which they did not highlight, but they did offer, is that only 1.7% of the entire male population in the United States is gay. And only 0.9% of the women say that they are gay. Now, that's less than 4%. That's like 3%. And that's probably exaggerated, but I'm going to take it. So we are remaking society for 2.6 or 3% of society. We are social engineering our way into chaos. And you know why, ladies and gentlemen? Because we're not brave. Because we're lorded over and we can't speak truth. We're lorded over by a fog, a haze, descending mist of political correction. That we could just bar, basically crane wrecking ball style right through it if we wanted to. Trump is showing the way, by the way, but we don't. We allow a fraction of deviancy to govern our lives. And until that stops and until people show courage, it will continue. And you'll sacrifice your children on the altar of this because this changes and permeates a society. Again, for less than 3% of the population, your daughter will now squat pee next to a psychopath in a female bathroom. Silicon Valley, not supporting Trump because if you do, and there's many examples of this, your career is over. This is the leftist blacklist. They've insisted on doing this. This is something that communists do. This is something that dictators do. So it makes sense that this form of totalitarianism and authoritarianism would intercede. Left, I've proven that many times in this podcast. I turn your attention to a piece in the New York Times. You have to read between the lines, but I encourage you to read the two paragraphs beneath the picture they offer you on this Silicon Valley piece. So they know that if they disagree in thinking in any way with the left, they will lose their jobs. Because the left, after all, is a beacon of truth and open-mindedness. As long as the open-mindedness is what they want open-mindedness to be, otherwise, you're going to get a pink slip. Ladies and gentlemen, there's this piece on the New York Times too, that there's all these party hacks, these establishment hacks, on the Republican side of the aisle, which at this point seriously make me want to vomit. But they're claiming they're going to skip the Cleveland convention. Could it be that voters don't care whether big party, big shots attend the convention or not? See, these guys say stuff like this. I watch them say stuff like this on television. We're very displeased with the Republican voters. They fumble this one. Absolutely. They don't know what they're talking about. Donald Trump is a nuisance. Well, I know he is a nuisance to your $400 million graft at my expense as a taxpayer that you're just real comfortable with getting used to. I know that he's a nuisance to that. But you haven't quite made the case why he's a nuisance to the guy making $35,000 in the mine. You haven't made the case that he's a nuisance to the guy who's laying brick in this ridiculous economy. And you, Republican hack, didn't stand up to any of these policies. No, you sat back on K Street, you cashed checks, and you hobnobbed with leftist Democrat totalitarians. But now you want us to give you a listening ear because you got it all figured out, right? Not the millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of Americans that showed up at the ballot box cast a vote for a change of direction because they know, as a matter of fact, like gravity, that you're corrupt to the marrow of your bones. Now all these hacks who, by the way, make a living at being wrong, make a living at failing. Now we're supposed to bend and bow. And you hear him say stuff like, man, Trump better respect our wishes. Sayonara. Sayonara. If you want to fray and untether your string from the mass and not show up at the Cleveland convention, I guarantee you this. You will not be missed. Sayonara. Bon voyage. This stuff is just unbelievable. They say this stuff as if it's going to move the needle. A beloved professor and 2 young children murdered at UCLA. Murdered. They found kill lists, etc. You know what the report from the media is? 2 gun victims. No, the guy was murdered by a psychopath. Clarity, and moral clarity specifically, completely vacant from the media. This little stuff might seem small. Well, what's a big deal, Brock? Well, it's a big deal because the media is just supposed to report what happened. A psychopath hunted down a professor and murdered him. That's what happened. It's a fascinating piece in the New York Times about Trump's anti-PC appeal. The hatred of political correctness runs deep in America. I have been telling you this forever. Hillary Clinton literally represents it. It's intelligent analysis. I encourage you to read it. Again, Trump's anti-political correctness appeal with flyover country. By the way, that in and of itself is literally driving New York Times editors to drink at this moment. Hard liquor. Is Trump now a prisoner of his own persona? We will soon find out, says Henniger. I think what Henniger means by this is Trump is a bombastic, matter-of-fact speaker, right? Of that there can be no doubt. The guy's making the case that he's writing checks that he can't cash. Ladies and gentlemen, as far as I'm concerned, if Trump cashes a fourth of the checks that he's written by way of the American people, the country would be light years, astonishingly better than it is now. Just my 2 cents. Wall Street Journal has that piece. Bill Kristol is out there whining like a 4-year-old girl at a birthday party when he didn't get the right My Little Pony doll. A 4th party candidate, he said. They're trying to draft some guy. And from what I can tell, the guy they're trying to draft is a pretty good guy. He's a vet. He's a businessman. But the guy is like, he's going to the lion's den. Bill Kristol's got an action grind, and he's going to throw this guy, his reputation, his life, to the wolves. The gorilla banged boy's head against the wall, says eyewitness, who supports the zoo's decision to kill this animal. Breitbart.com has that. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know that there is now gluten-free water? Gluten-free water. As if madness has not reached its fever pitch in your life, there is gluten-free water. It exists. For the extra Trader Joe hipster NPR burlap bag wearing, suck on your middle finger loser in deep inside of you. If you want some gluten-free water, it is now available. Wall Street Journal has a piece. Latest poll has Trump and Clinton dead even. This has got to be filling up Hillary Clinton's depends with urine right now. I guarantee you it is. I don't, granted, she's away in her bunker of mystery and mystique. And by the way, all the alphabet soup, and you know this, I mean, everybody. Trump can never win. Trump can never win the nomination, and Trump can never beat Hillary Clinton. I mean, who believed that, by the way? Hillary Clinton. I seriously have an old pair of socks that I hold on to that looks like something that they clean up a gorilla cage with. That seriously is more appealing than Hillary Clinton. So all these alphabet soup and establishment guys, man, I can tell you what, he's going down in flames. He's going down like a World War II bomber that's just been hit by the dot. It's just everything's a lie. Everything's wrong. So anyway, CNN has a poll, and it's Clinton. No, it's Trump. And it's Clinton. No, it's Trump. It's going to be by a nose, according to this. I will tell you this from what I know about politics. The accurate poll numbers will come when Hillary Clinton steals the nomination from the voters' choice on the Democratic aisle, which is Bernie Sanders. When that theft and corruption wraps itself up and calcifies, which it will, then we'll actually see what these poll numbers look like. 1/3 of U.S. students support anti-Semitic BDS, according to a recent poll. That's how deep the anti-Semitism is coming from universities, leftist-run universities in the United States of America. I bring this stuff to you all the time. You are witnessing the rise of anti-Jew, anti-Semitism, the like, which we fought a war over. And it's coming back again, and it's coming back from the same ideologies. People are unbelievable. They're bigots. Everything they say is projection. They look at the Middle East, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, they're throwing homosexuals off of 40-story buildings, and they're concerned about boycotting Israel. The Libertarian Party convention clown show, and I'm a borderline libertarian. I watch this stuff. The National Review has an amazing, funny, and accurate look at this. But I saw all kinds of footage of it and the booths and stuff. We could use a viable libertarian party. I don't know. By the way, if ever they were going to offer some serious candidate, it would be now. And they got Johnson out there, whatever this clown's name is. Jonah Goldberg answers questions on his anti-Trumpness. That's a heartbreaker because I think Goldberg is a genius and a conservative mind. But these guys, man, I think they're going to come around at the end of the day. That's my opinion. Ladies and gentlemen, sadly, that's the way it spins. It's the world as it spins wildly off its axis. Common sense, truth. The way that it changes is for you. It's not that complicated, by the way. I say this stuff, I think it might roll off. You think you don't have any influence over what we do. Open your mouth and engage the world with your ideas, with the way you see the world. Do not be ashamed of that. Do not be afraid of that. Engage people. Now, you do this strategically and truthfully. You don't just throw flamethrowers. You engage with people. Make the case. Naturally, when it can happen. Most of the stuff that you don't talk to. I encourage you. It takes courage, but I encourage you to do it. Thank you for listening.
Production